popular support for militants complicates Pakistan crackdown. Washington Times. Bahawalpur, Pakistan. AP on the congested streets of Bahawalpur, a city in southern Pakistan's jihadi heartland, emotions run high in favor of Jaish-e-Mohammed, a UN-designated terror group that recently pushed nuclear-armed India and to the brink of war. Such support complicates Prime Minister Imran Khan's latest crackdown on militant groups, including Jaish-e-Mohammed. In recent days, many of the groups are popular among the poor because they operate networks of charities. Some groups have Jaish-e-Mohammed is not a terrorist group, they just want to spread Islam, said Tahir Zia, a grey-bearded resident of Bahawalpur, a city whose 18th century founders claim to be direct descendants of Islam's Prophet Muhammad. According to Pakistan's counter-terrorism agency, the government has outlawed 68 militant groups. This includes Kashmir is split between Pakistan and India and claimed by both in its entirety. The region has been. The latest confrontation began February 14 when a suicide bombing in Indian Kashmir killed 40 Indian soldiers. Jaish-e-Mohammed. Under pressure to rein in the militants, Pakistan took over mosques and religious schools belonging to Jaish-e-Mohammed. Their students and the group's headquarters on the northern outskirts of Bahawalpur, a city of 2 million, are ringed by a 20-foot-high 6-meter brick wall. On a recent morning, several bearded men and 2 Pakistani police officers, armed with automatic rifles, turned away visitors approaching the compound's large steel gates. Bahawalpur is located on the edge of Pakistan's Kholistan Desert in the southern part of Punjab province. In recent decades, the donors have financed a vast network of religious schools that cater to the poorest residents, teaching a brand of Islam that promotes sectarianism, brands Shiite Muslims as infidels and espouses jihad, according to the Brussels-based International Crisis Group. Khan, who adopted the role of peacemaker in the latest outbreak of hostilities between Pakistan and India, returned a captured Indian pilot, offered peace talks with his Indian counterpart, and launched a crackdown on militant groups from which previous administrations shied away. On Tuesday, in a gesture aimed at mending relations on the subcontinent, Pakistan announced it had arrested 44 suspected members of several militant organizations, including Jaish-e-Mohammed. Among those arrests, Routh was also among those named by India in a dossier it gave to Pakistan after Khan promised to investigate suspected links between Pakistani-based militants and the February bombing. On Wednesday, more schools, hospitals, and charities run by banned groups were taken over by the government. Padlocks were put in a tweet Wednesday. Interior Minister Shahryar Afridi promised his government would implement a widely cheered 2015 National Action Plan that calls for zero tolerance of militant groups. Still, the move by Khan's government is fraught with dangers in a country where militant groups provide social services to poor residents ignored by the government. The 2016 in Bahawalpur, Jaish-e-Mohammed and its leader enjoy considerable support. Storekeeper Sajid Ali called Azhar a man of peace and dismissed accusations that he is a terrorist as Indian propaganda. Hafiz Muzamil, a fiery young man, railed against India's violent suppression of a 30-year insurgency in Kashmir, India's only Muslim-dominated state, and championed Jaish-e-Mohammed and Azhar as warriors for Islam. Crowds gathered. Adnan Nasimullah, an expert in international affairs at King's College in London, warned of a short-term backlash against the crackdown. Pakistan, if it takes an aggressive, no-tolerance stand against Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Harakat al-Mujahideen, will suffer a violent backlash domestically, he said. But a zero-tolerance policy from the Pakistani state will over time shift the focus back on Kashmir and the treatment of the Kashmiri people, which is in Pakistan's long-term interest, he added. International human rights groups have accused India of widespread abuses as it seeks to crush dissent in its part of Kashmir. India's policy for Pakistan, The deadly mix of militant groups on its soil is a decades-old problem with roots in the 1980s war in neighboring Afghanistan, when the United States and Pakistan were allies against the former Soviet Union. Together they nurture. It's a history that analysts like Zahid Hussain, author of 2 books on militancy, say haunts Pakistan. Various Pakistani governments have promised to take action against the many groups but have not done so, said Hussain. Not only does it, copyright 2019 The Washington Times, LLC. Click to read more and view comments. Click to hide.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.